Okay, I just wanted to go over a few things before you begin the project. Access is a little bit different in that when you first start a new database, it's going to ask you for your file name. So when you open up Access and you choose a blank database, this is where you need to give it the actual file name. So I'll call mine Sorrentino Access Project 1 and then create. All right, so I just want to make sure that you understand that first. Now I'm going to actually I'm going to open up my database for my project. Okay, so if you're looking at the instructions for this particular project, let me just open these up for a second so I could talk about a few things. Okay, so you're going to create a table that has the following fields, and you're going to name the table clients. So I just want to show you in my example. That's the blank one I just started, so let me open mine. You'll see I have two tables, clients and trips. That's what you're going to have. And two forms, one to enter client information, one to enter trip information. So I just opened this database back up. I'm going to open up my clients right here, and as it states in the instructions, all right, it gives you the actual field names and the type of data that should be in there, and then you should enter information for 10 clients in the client table. So you can go ahead and enter in 10 different people, their street addresses, city, state, phone number, email, trip ID. We're going to leave this blank for now. This is something we'll be using in the second project, and the number of travelers that are going to take place, that are going to take a trip. So that's the first table that you're going to work on. Okay. The other thing that I wanted to tell you is Access is a little bit different than the other applications you've been using, because you have to make sure you save things all the time in Access. When you right click here, you can see this will save this table. You can choose File, Save to save your entire database, but I find that once you put all your table information in, you may want to do just right click and choose Save here. It's really very particular on saving the individual objects, whether they're tables or forms, which is what we're working on this project. Okay, next you have to create a second table called trips, and again it shows you the different fields and the different data types for the trips table, and I'm just going to open that up so you can see it. And you'll notice here there's a trip name, there's a departure date, there's a departure city, there's a number of days, and I just want to make sure that you guys kind of adjust these columns also so that you can see what you're doing. All right, there's a cost per person, and then there is a website for the trip. As it's stated in the instructions, you are to go to this website right here, and this is where you're going to get the information for the trips. You might have to put your zip code the first time you go to this website, but if you put in a local zip code, it'll bring you to this. So it's a whole series of trips on the AAA website, so you could pick any 10 that you want. Let's say I'll just pick one to show you. Let me go down here to, a 3-day shopping trip in New York City, and this is the information you need, right? The name of the trip, New York City 3-day shopping trip. It has the start date is listed here for you, December 4th. The number of days you should be able to figure out, right? It's 3 days. The rate, and again, you don't have to worry about all these, just pick the first rate. And it'll tell you where it leaves from Buffalo, Rochester, and Syracuse. You can just put Buffalo in there if you want. And the website that you should put in there is just this website that you'll find at the top. This is the website that brings you right to the New York City 3-day shopping trips. So you can just copy this, right? So you highlight it and you could choose copy. And then when you go into your database, you can come over here, you can right click and choose paste. So you don't have to type that whole thing over again. As the instructions state, let's get back to the instructions. You have to put in 10 trips. I only just showed you 5 on my example. Then you have to go to the clients table and you should sort the entries in there alphabetically, right, A to Z, and then you should sort the trip table by date, and then you're going to create forms. So you're going to create a form for the client table called Enter Client Information, and a form for the trip table called Enter Trip Information. The forms do not have to be fancy. I'm just going to show you, my form here, and this is just another way to enter data or to you can go in and you can change things as well. Notice you can go back and forth, right? Click back and forth. Once you have a form, you can use the page down and page up to move through. If you want to, when you're creating your tables, you could just put 1 or 2 entries in. Like if I was in my trips, I still have 5 more entries to make. So I could go into this form and I could start entering, trip 6 through 10 in, this way on the form. It's sometimes a little easier to see it this way than it is to see it in the table. So again, when you're working with these, right click on them, choose save. Same thing with the forms. When you finish a form, right click and choose save, and same thing here. And then make sure that you save the whole thing. It's just a little bit tricky when you're working with Access. It expects these individual objects, tables and forms, to be saved, and then the entire database to be saved. So if you create some forms and then you don't save them, when you submit me your database file, they might not be there at all. So I need you to be careful of that. And I think that's probably what you need to know for now. And what we'll be doing on Project 2 is we'll be creating some queries and reports with the data that we enter here in Project 1. As always, let me know if you have any questions.